I'm still a sticky boy! Alright there, you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the Crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you. Yes, you, the person who is, unfortunately, that was actually a gimmick, by the way. Still feeling pretty rubbish. I can pinpoint the exact moment that I got ill with this horrendous flu/head cold. And weirdly enough, it was actually a day where I was doing another sick thing. So, Si, if you bring up Exhibit A, which is a short that I actually filmed when I was over in Bath at the office. It's the one where we were playing Mario Kart on the side of a building using a projector, which was insanely fun. The moment that was finished filming, I was a bit like this. God, that was bloody great, that was. Oh, I love seeing you all. Oh, catch you later. Oh, bye. And that's when I got sick. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than Marvel's protege for their suggestion of video games that were just utterly terrible, smelly mudflap experiences. Stuff that you would look at and just go, ooh, the bargain bin is too good for you. And yet, these are video games that, despite having pretty poor quality, we all not only played, but we bloody well beat. I tell you, what's wrong with us as a people? Actually, just don't go there. The list is too long for even What Culture to cover here. So instead, let's have a chat about them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 bad, terrible, stinky video games that everyone played and everyone beat. Ugh. Don't worry, if I sound snotty, in between takes, I'll just blow all of the gunk out of my nose. Big Pidge, my personal hospital assistant here. So Big Pidge, sterilise that wing after you just touched me there. You don't want to catch it, mate. Is going to be on hand with the Kleenex and just to douse me in antibacterial spray every once in a while. Number 8. Enter the Matrix. Now, it's basically impossible to overstate the hype for the Matrix sequels that happened in 2003, to which end a tie-in video game, Enter the Matrix, was released the very same day that The Matrix Reloaded hit cinemas around the world. Now, even accepting that the game didn't allow players to control Neo, instead they were switching between supporting characters Niobe and Ghost, the promise that the game's story was directly linked to that of the movies was pretty goddamn cool. That's what it said on the box art. Just developed an accent midway through and was just like, hey man, it's pretty goddamn cool. Matrix, yo! So, long story short, is it any shock that this game sold by the bucket, even, may I say, shed-load? But is it even a bigger surprise, I then go on to ask you, that this game was pretty goddamn trash? It's a movie tie-in video game. Very few of them are actually any good. Which ones? Well, you'll have to tune in for another episode of Choose Your Own Adventure. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a suggestion at some point now. Somebody put that down as a suggestion. I just want to cover that because there are some absolute bangers out there. So Enter the Matrix sold over 5 million units within its first year of release. But the gameplay, oh boy, woefully clunky. Whether in combat or driving a car, pretty bad. And the storyline was actually just like super forgettable because they realised that, oh, okay, we could move things along in the main story, but then the films, they're going to supersede this, so you kind of had to tie everything back into was already previously established anyway. So yeah. However, the real reason why we all played and beat this game was because it promised that we would unlock a new trailer for the upcoming third Matrix film, The Matrix Revolutions. So, of course, we all played it and beat it. Just to witness it, and we were just like, this final film, it looks like it's going to be brilliant. It looks like it's going to be so good and definitely won't leave me feeling disappointed after watching it in the cinemas. Oh, what a time to be alive. Number 7, Kinect Star Wars. The Xbox 360's motion controller peripheral Kinect was a pure sales juggernaut upon launch in 2010, shifting over 8 million units in just 60 days, making it the fastest selling consumer electronics device at the time. Wow, put it on a postcard, fantastic. But quality games for the hardware were few and far between, and so when a Star Wars Kinect themed title launched roughly 18 months later, well, content-starved owners, they were definitely all over it. And it's easy to see why. The game's marketing played up the prospect of using your own body as a controller to fling lightsabers around, pilot X-Wings, and use the Force, in this case, to dance. Yeah, so I mean, instead of getting like the massive like action sequences that a full live action, full body performance style game around Star Wars could have given us, instead we got to go solo. Go solo. I'm Han Solo. Yeah, this game was largely panned for being a shallow motion sensing tech demo with some sleek branding just slapped on top of it. But Kinect owners, we were desperate for anything. And so, the game topped the UK software charts for 5 consecutive weeks on launch. And given that this casual ROM could be ploughed through in about 5 hours, it's fair to say that most Kinect owners, well, they were just like, yeah, well, we might as well just see it through because we've got nothing else to do. But let's face it, we all know what Star Wars fans actually really get up to the moment that they finish one Star Wars related piece of media. They go online and they talk for hours and hours and hours about how that there was some guy in the background, like there for maybe 3 milliseconds, and how they were secretly the reason behind all of this. It's like, oh, did you see Bink Bonk 3-Peep over there? Yeah, whoa. Let me tell you the story about him. So what he was, right, is that he was a pod racer, yeah, for the Bankers Guild, and he raced using a solid engine and transporting money for them illegally between star systems using the pod racer as the delivery vehicle. Number 6, Altered Beast. Okay, put the pitchforks down, my friend, you weird farmers who have just showed up to my house over here. I'm going to be mouthing bad about Altered Beast, and I know that there's a lot of people out there who owned a Mega Drive, who owned a Mega Drive or a Genesis back in the day, who absolutely loved this game. But I'll ask you, my friends, have you gone back and played this game as an adult, you know, with like actual eyes and a fully formed brain? Because here's the thing, Altered Beast is a decently premised yet mechanically underwhelming romp to play ad nauseum with a sibling or a friend. And because of that, as well as the game's short play time of around an hour or two, to just like smash through it, just about everyone with a Mega Drive or a Genesis rolled credits on Altered Beast. Now, nostalgia, like I've said, is probably leaving you with fond memories of playing Altered Beast during an altogether simpler, more carefree time of your life. But I bet you, if you revisit this game today as an adult, be prepared to see how shockingly not good this game actually is. I rest my case. If you want to continue stabbing me with the pitchforks, absolutely fine. But I've made my case. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Oh boy, this is still a fresh one, isn't it? The fact that Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remaster collectively sold more than 10 million copies within a month of its release is all the proof that you need that nostalgia is one hell of a drug. Pass me that poorly rendered bone so I may smoke it, my friend. Ooh, every game for the PlayStation 1 was great, and I will not think any more about that. Now, the inclusion of this collection on this list comes with a sizable asterisk, because this compendium is very bad. A terrible rendition of 3 incredible era-defining games. Now, these allegedly definitive versions of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas were torn apart by critics who, tellingly, didn't receive advance review copies. And let me just let you in on a little secret here, how the sausage is made, but come behind the sausage curtain. Don't read too much into what that actually is, I'm saying with that, but when we do not get review copies at FGS or at What Culture, you're pretty on the point that their game is going to be a bit of a stinker, because the people in charge of them do not want anything getting out about them. There have been times where you've just been like, oh, can we get review copies of this? Yeah, you'll get it on blah, 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 blah. So that appears to be the day of launch. Yeah. Oh, that would be great to put reviews out and tell people to stay away. Oh, brilliant, fantastic. From the mediocre visuals to the abundance of bugs and removal of classic music tracks, nothing about this collection indicated that it was updating 3 of the most beloved games ever made. And it was actually more so that Rockstar was milking their popularity for every drop while investing the most minimal amount of effort to guarantee sales. And given just how many people actually bought the collection regardless, and surely played each game through to the end for that ever-important nostalgic fix, it clearly paid off. Number 4, The Simpsons Road Rage. Okay, let's talk about it. You see, The Simpsons Hit and Run is pretty much one of the best video games The Simpsons has ever put their name to. It's actually just one of the best video games around the PS2, original Xbox, GameCube era. It's so good. But for everyone like that, you've got to have an inverse reaction. It's kind of like the yin-yang of the video game world. And on the yin or yang side of things, where am I going? There is Road Rage, which was basically their version of Crazy Taxi without the craziness. They had the taxi. It was just taxi. Road Rage cribbed so blatantly from hit arcade game Crazy Taxi that it made Hit and Run seem like a positively subtle GTA clone, enough so that Sega even sued all companies involved and received an out-of-court settlement. Not content to merely just be a rip-off though, Road Rage also suffered from horrendous graphics, terrible performance and maddeningly repetitive dialogue, ensuring that it didn't feel nearly as polished or finessed as its obvious inspiration. Yet, The Simpsons reskin was apparently compelling enough for Road Rage to sell in excess of 3 million units, far eclipsing the commercial success of the original Crazy Taxi. So it's one of those things where like the riff-off becomes more successful for the original, and the people who buy that probably don't know about the original because they're just so swept up in the Simpsons stuff, so they're going to be like, what's this Crazy Taxi game? This inferior Road Rage? Oh! What a world we live in! And for the great many lured in by the branding, Road Rage's core gameplay was so mind-numbingly straightforward and bite-sized that it was easy to get through in a relative, couple of hours or so. So yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people played this, thought it was crap, and just soldiered on anyway. Number 3, The Order 1886. Okay, the digital pitchforks have been upgraded to PS4 quality now, and they're stabbing me right in the gut. I'm going to be talking about this game, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that like it, and don't get me wrong, I liked it, asterisk, for what it was. It looked good, the gameplay was fine, there was lots of boring elements to it. I think that people seem to get very confused about this game and tell me that it's like an underrated banger, it's an absolute deep-cut classic. It's a good-looking game that did nothing spectacular. So when people are like, oh yeah, it's brilliant, it's like, is it? Do you like it just because it looks nice? Because that's fine. That is fine. You can say that a game looked nice and you have good memories of it, but was it a good game? I wag my finger at ye. Now, The Order 1886 admittedly wasn't a sales juggernaut on launch, but it absolutely became a wait-for-a-sale game that many picked up later down the line, largely due to the allure of those wondrous visuals, no matter the complaints about its lackluster gameplay or its very short length. The Order 1886 is right at the bottom of Sony's platform-exclusive titles that they released over the last decade, and yay it was easy enough to power through and just savour those amazing aesthetics. So yeah, lots of people played it, lots of people completed it, and lots of people wished that there was more of it, in every sense. And we never got it again. Sad times. Number 2, Aliens Colonial Marines. Now, the pre-release hype for Aliens Colonial Marines was off the goddamn charts, with developer Gearbox Software touting it as a direct sequel to James Cameron's Aliens, and one which would finally give fans the cinematic bug hunt video game that they've been craving for literally decades. The Colonial Marines turned out to be a runaway dumpster fire, a bug-infested mess in the worst way possible, and it was made even worse by dated visuals, a generally lousy, low-effort engagement with the franchise, and its woefully repetitive gameplay. And yet, with the Alien fan base being so desperate for a game inspired by the second movie, it sold well regardless, even ending up as Sega's best-selling release for that financial year. That's troubling. I guess Colonial Marines also had the decency to be a short video game as well, lasting about 4 hours, which, when you combine it with the sad fact that this came out before Steam issued their refund policy, means that likely a lot of people just soldiered on through and played this absolute garbage. Cheers, Sega. And number 1, Carnival Games. Remember Carnival Games? Oh, I bet you wish you didn't. This uninspired carousel of carnival-themed minigames was released for the Nintendo Wii and DS in 2007 and 2008 respectively, and despite receiving predominantly negative reviews for its utterly mediocre collection of minigames, ugly visuals, even for the Wii standards, and fatally poor controls, it went on to sell a shocking 6 million units. For a game that could have been a glorified pack-in and yet wasn't nearly as entertaining as the Wii's actual pack-in title Wii Sports, that is a staggering figure, and likely explains why Carnival Games spawned a franchise including a 2018 follow-up for the Switch. Now, all of the various minigames could be easily bested in an hour or two, so even those with intense buyer's remorse, which definitely, trust me, you would have buying this piece of crap, probably just sat through it and just polished it off. You may not have any lasting memories of Carnival games, but if you were a Wii owner in the late 2000s, there's a very good chance that you owned this game and likely just rattled out a few sessions of it. To be fair though, it actually did encapsulate the proper Carnival experience. I've paid money for this glorious experience. It's over already. I don't feel satisfied at all, and I have nothing to show for it. That's the Carnival, baby! And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 terrible, stinky, gross, bad video games that we all bought and we all played through to the bitter end. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on my social medias over here, and you can follow my lovely editor, Sai, over on her social medias over here as well. Thank you, Sai, for putting up with probably one of the worst recordings I've done in a long-ass time, my friend, because I am feeling quite delirious again right here. My energy levels are definitely not where I thought that they were going to be. So I'm going to go get hosed down by Pig? No, sorry, mate. Big Pidge once more. I'm going to grab a cup of tea. I'm going to go sit down for a bit. Right, catch you in a bit. Bye, everyone. Bye. Oh, Christ.